All right, we are back. We're done with exercise 1.5, question 3. So let's go to question 4 and see what question 4 holds for us. So question 4. In question 4, we are told to simplify the following. Still under division. Now, here we have 3 root 2 minus 1 over root 2 minus 1 over root 8. Now, what's the first thing you need to do here? You need to take care of this. So this will be what? 3 root 2 minus 1 over root 2 minus what? 1 over, this is 4 times 8. This is what? 4 times 2, which will give me 2 root 2. That will be 2 root 2. So this is what you're going to have. Now, a different approach to this problem, but I'm going to use what you already used. I'm going to use LCM. Now, by LCM, I'm going to have that the LCM will be what? 2 root 2. Into this will be 1 times this will now give me 6 times 2. Root 2 times 2 is 2 times 6, 3 times 2. That will give me 6 times 2, which is 12, minus. This into this will give me 2, minus this into this will give me 1. So what does that give me? This will give me 12 minus 2, which is 10, minus 1, which is 9. That will be 9 over 2 root 2. And I'll multiply both sides by root 2 over root 2. And that will give me 9 root 2 over 4. Now, I also know that there's another approach where you try to rationalize each one. That's an approach, but you see, sometimes in an exam, you need to be taught how to go quickly. How to go quickly. That's another method. You can use that method, but I wouldn't go with that. Remember that my objective for this class is very clear. I want to be able to teach you a new topic and connect ideas of old topics. It's so important that you should be able to connect ideas of old topics, because that's what shows how smart you are as a student. All right. So let's ask question 4A rather. So let's go to 4B. In 4B, we have that 10 over 4 root 18 minus 7 root 8. There's a song those days that would say, I think it was done by a group called Shalama. You can go to the YouTube and Google them up. It's called Shalama. And I think the title says Freak Out. Freak Out. Now, sometimes when you see a question, the first thing is, don't freak out. Look at it. Are there previous knowledge I can apply to this? And obviously, look at the major threat to this question is root 18 and root what? 8. This is what the square root of 9 times 2. This is what the square root of what? 4 times 2. This will give me 3 root 2. 2 root 2. So this will be equal to what? 10 over 4. This is 4 into what? 3 root 2 minus 7 into what? 2 root 2. What is this? This will be 10 over 12 root 2 minus what? 14 root 2. Wonderful. So this will give me 10 over what? Minus root 2 over 2. So that will be that. 1, cancel here 5, and that will be what? 5 over minus root 2. So you multiply top and bottom by root 2. I hope you know that this is same thing as minus 5 over root 2 times root 2 over root 2. And that will give me minus 5 root 2 over 2. And that will settle the answer for that question. So let's go to question 5. Question 5. Question 5 says, this one is a jam question, root 48 minus 9 over root 3 plus root 75. Now, if you look at this question, the way I'm going to solve this question is different from the way I would have solved this. Here, you notice that I used LCM. I won't use that here again because the only denominator threat I have is just this one. So it would be wiser for me to just rationalize this. So what is this one? This is 16. I'm taking pains to do this so that I can hasten your thought process. This will be what? 4 root 3 minus 9 root 3 over what? Root 3 times root 3. Trying to rationalize this. Plus, what is the square root of 75? It's the square root of 25 times 3. So that will give me what? 5 root 3. Now, I can try to be a smart student by trying to work these two together. This will give me 9 root 3 minus, this will be 3 over what? 3. So that will be 9 root 3 minus root 3. I see that, which will give me 8 root 3. So that answer becomes what? 8 root 3. Is that clear? So this answer becomes 8 root 3. Okay, so that will clear that issue as we brace up for something new. So the next subheading we'll be going to is what? Simplifying SURDS containing brackets. Simplifying SURDS containing what? Brackets. And to help us with this exercise, we will look at exercise 1.6. My approach to the subject is always more like a warrior. I want to get into the problem and see what the problem has in stock for me. I'll try to give you basic understanding of, they saw this. It's not different from your algebra. That's the truth. Because you've been taught algebra already, how to open up brackets and things like that. So I guess you wouldn't struggle so much with the idea. All right, let's look at question 1. It says root 3 into root 7 plus root 3. Now, bear in mind that we had told you earlier that root A times root A is equal to what? A. Don't forget this idea. So this times this will be equal to root 21. It's like the root of 3 times 7 plus this times this will give me what? 3. Because same number, when you find the square root, you get that. All right? So that's for that one, number 1. Now let's look at number 2. In question 2, it says 4 root 2 into 3 root 2 minus root 3. So how do you do this? Here, you need to be a lot more smarter now. This will be 4 times 3. Now, put in context, this is like saying 4 root 2 times 3 root 2. I seen it. So I'll multiply these two first. And then I'll multiply these two. I seen it. So 4 times 3 is 12. And root 2 times root 2 is 2. So 12 times 2 will give me what? 24. I seen it. Plus or minus rather, according to the, minus according to the description of the question. Now, you have now 4 root 2 times what? Root 3. In this context, these two will multiply. Note that anytime you have root 3, there's an imaginary 1 there, which you multiply by 4. So this will be what? 4 root 6. I hope that would help your understanding of the matter. Right? So that's that for that one. Now in question 3, you have the square root of 5 minus square root of 2 into, rather, all squared. What is the interpretation of this? It is the square root of 5 minus square root of 2 into the square root of 5 minus the square root of 2. Now, I always like to tell my students, draw from previous knowledge. I know this will be root 5 into what? Root 5 minus root 2. Now, I also know students like to say, you just do this one, do this one. See, if you're not comfortable with that method, never use a method you are not comfortable with. The Bible records of a man called David. David was a very smart guy. You know why? Saul was trying to show him a method to use. He said, no, this method you want to show me, I can't use it now because I've not been using it. That's the same thing here. Don't try a method you don't understand too well. So I always advise students to go with this method. It may look long, but it also has a way of helping your mind to think. Square root of 5 minus square root of 2. I need to clean the other side of my bulb now so that I can create a bit of more space to help our work. All right, so this will now be equal to what? I'll treat this to be 5 minus root 10. I'll treat this to be minus root 10. I'll treat this to be plus 2. Based on the concept of this. Are you seeing it? There's always a reason for any deductions or anything we're doing. So look at this. You know, before now I used to test, arrange the test, but now I allow you to do it mentally because that's one way to drive the brain to work. 5 plus 2 will give me what? 7 minus will give me minus what? 2 root 10. And that is the answer to the question. All right, I want you to, on your own, look at the remaining questions and see if you can try and get them.